everyone, and welcome to the Christmas special of the Back to the Real podcast. Today, I have my old friend Dejan Blazevski here, returning again for the Christmas special, but then I also have my friend Christian joining us for the first time. So welcome, guys, to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. So, how are you guys feeling? Everything okay?
Yeah, we're in the Christmas spirit.
Warming up to the Christmas spirit.
I know that we all share our lovely sweaters.
Yes.
So I see you're into branding.
Apparently, yeah, that's my thing. Gotta represent.
You guys look amazing.
Don't forget to thank your sponsors.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we have to thank our
Coca-Cola.
sponsors. Yeah. Coca-Cola. Or in Sweden, it's Cuba-Cola.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Coca-Cola.
So, guys, so this is like a Christmas special. Obviously, the theme is Christmas, but we thought about it's actually your idea from the start that you hatched the idea of having a Christmas special.
Only because you were talking about you're gonna have a Halloween special.
Yeah.
I thought, why not a Christmas special?
Yeah.
But I didn't have more than that. Really.
Yeah,
but then you just took the ball and said, you're gonna.
That's how an idea starts, and then you start building upon that.
Yeah.
And then Christian also had interest of being in a podcast as well. So I was thinking, like, this could be awesome. So here we are today.
So
where do we start then? So the idea was talking about what is a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
What makes a movie special for Christmas, for example? Does it need to be like a theme? It has to be Christmas, set in Christmas time? Or can it be maybe just any movie whatsoever? It's just like what you could connect to Christmas as a holiday and what kind of movies you enjoy watching.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you. So how do you guys feel about that? What is a typical Christmas movie for you?
I think for me, in order for it to be a Christmas movie, it just needs to contain snow. Snow, just white, pure snow.
Nice. So Game of Thrones. So.
Scarface.
That's a good one.
The gift that keeps on giving.
What more can we pull out from the hat?
But that's a good start. So it contains snow basically. That
and also kind of like have a winter, be based during the months December and January, February, like November to February. Let's say that to have a wide span of Christmassy, wintry feeling.
Yeah,
that's for me the main. Like if I get that feeling, then it should be. And I don't know, I guess for me, I tend to also watch movies that are not necessarily Christmas movies during the Christmas, but that have that kind of old trilogies of like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, even like Indiana Jones or Back to the Future could for me be something that I haven't seen in a long time. And just have the time to watch it when it's Christmas. I think it's kind of like a way to catch up with old movies.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's the fun thing when I think about it. I think it also has to do with us as children when we grew up, that we had like linear television that we grew up with as well, what was on television at the time. Yeah. Today's generation with the streaming, for example, I don't think that too many people actually watch television like before. And if we're starting to see like a trend shift regarding Christmas movies and what we grow up with, basically.
Because I'm starting to wonder, wasn't there a thing where they screened all the James Bond movies during Christmas?
Yes.
Isn't that a thing?
They did.
Isn't that during Christmas, or is it like?
I don't know if it's still going on in Swedish television, but they did.
They did, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, because now I just suddenly realized that my dad used to just like marathon watch all these James Bond movies on Christmas.
So, Dad, we're having dinner. No, it's Roger Moore.
Yeah, it's the Roger Moore era, and it's like, but you have them on DVD. What's DVD? Oh yeah, I forgot. You don't.
You don't use it.
I bought him the whole collection on DVD. Like the suitcase.
Yeah, I remember you.
And
did.
I think he just has it there, like, opens it up, like, my precious.
But I think that's why I also chose the sweater I'm wearing today with the title "Say Mamma," and you immediately think, what's the ultimate Swedish Christmas tradition that happens every Christmas Eve?
Sällskapsresan.
No. Say mom.
There's the like 3 o'clock Christmas Eve.
Oh,
Donald Duck.
Oh, sorry.
Or
Kalle Ankas jul. What
Ankas
did I
jul,
get
yes.
Sällskapsresan for?
But speaking of, that's actually true. But actually, speaking of Sällskapsresan, it takes place during Christmas.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
celebrate Christmas in Gran Canaria.
Yeah,
as
Yeah,
well.
that's
yeah, yeah.
true. That's
one,
true.
one of the ultimate Swedish
Yeah,
comedies
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
so,
true.
So
But yeah.
we're not that far off.
Yeah, no, but yeah, Kalle Ankas jul.
But bits.
Yes. Kalle Ankas jul.
but
Same cast, different movie.
Okay.
But that's also tradition. I mean, it started almost like over 50 years ago, and how it's still being going on and on and on. How families still get together on Christmas Eve. But it feels like the impression I'm getting now from friends of mine that have children now, that the children are saying, "But why are we watching this?
Yeah.
This why is this a tradition even?" So, but all the grown-ups from being children now are grown-ups saying, "Well, it's tradition. We watched Donald Duck."
Yeah, exactly. We still do, and my parents are more like, I noticed they're more like, it's 3 o'clock. It's Donald Duck Christmas or Disney Christmas,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh shit, it is. Oh, okay, and they're like, yeah, so it's very yeah. But speaking of that, like, do you have any? Because I just said, as long as it's winter and it's snowy, it's a Christmas movie.
No,
for
I
me
can
almost.
tie back
But-
to that,
but-
and I want to tie on to what you said. It's like when you mentioned like Lord of the Rings and the marathon movies and so on. I think it's like, at least for us, or me when I grew up, is when you have winter break from school. You have there's more free time in general, so you had the time to do like movie benders.
Yeah.
You could watch all 3 movies
Yeah.
in a day because there was nothing else on the agenda, and the more out of the way you were from your stressed parents trying to fix everything,
Right.
the better. Like,
Yeah.
so for me, I can relate to like, even if it has nothing to do with Christmas, there's still a Christmassy feel when you just zone in on
Yeah,
something
right.
and there's like, that's fine. That's the focus for that, is just to relax. So that can make anything a Christmas movie, I guess. But
One thing
in
that's
specific,
not Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
We'll get into that later.
but I think, as you said, like December, January, but dark, gloomy.
Yeah.
At least that's how we know Christmas in
Right.
the northern hemisphere. Everything is dark. It's nice with some snow, all the lights. That, I think that automatically gives you
Yeah.
a more Christmassy feel.
Which also makes me feel like a lot of Tim Burton's movies are Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Because they're all like a little bit dark, gloomy, gothic, snowy.
Yeah.
Like even Sleepy Hollow.
I agree.
Edward Scissorhands.
For me, it was Edward Scissorhands.
I think maybe that is considered to be a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But even Batman Returns.
Yeah,
Like snow,
it's
Christmas, winter.
yeah. I agree.
No,
What was that you did?
I was trying to do a joke, but then I realized it's Pigwin.
So that's what's your Joker. That was interesting. That was hilarious. But it's actually true that what you're saying, that because for me it's also very much Tim Burton. It makes, there's something Christmassy about them as well. But as you say, many of them actually take place during Christmas as well.
I think so.
And then you said A Nightmare Before Christmas,
Yes.
so which actually maybe is considered as a Halloween movie. It starts with like,
But-
this is Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's for me. And then somebody else told me, no, that's not that's a Halloween movie. No, wait, is it? No, but it's Christmas for me. So I think it works.
It works both ways, I
both
would
ways.
say. Yeah.
But is it because of the name and the title? Or
No, but also Jack, the character, he dresses up. He wants to be Santa. He gives presents away on Christmas Eve. He's like, that's his whole mission, isn't it? Like his whole goal of I want to be Santa Claus.
I want people shall be happy, not depressed.
Yeah, right. So, but do you have any criteria, Marcus, for what you consider to be a Christmas movie?
I would say that the movies that I generally think of like Christmas movies, as some of you mentioned, you actually said Sällskapsresan. For me, that's also like a very typical Christmas movie, although it takes place in Gran Canaria. It's like almost looks like summer more than, but talks about how the Swedish population leaves for something that they want to get away from, like the Swedish dark Christmas winter times, basically. So how it represents the Swedish population, Swedish mentality, I think is so hilarious. And
I have to see them again. I haven't seen them in such a long time.
But I have a very fond memory as a child, but still today, that makes me sometimes tear up as well. Do you guys remember the animated short film, The Snowman?
Oh.
It's a British animated movie about a boy that builds a snowman in the garden, and suddenly one night it comes to life, and they fly away, and he brings them to the North Pole, and he meets Santa, and then he wakes up Christmas Day and he's melted.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And the song "We're Walking in the Air," I remember every time I hear it, I think that for me. That makes me feel like I'm tearing up already. No, but it's like a bittersweet feeling. It's such a beautiful animated movie, but especially with the music. But then thinking of the tradition where you connected with Christmas, and so I don't know if it plays that often on Swedish television. I think I saw it on Danish television actually as a child for the first time, and then it came regularly on Christmas Eve as well.
That was also a thing I remember we were talking about Flow TV back in those days. Like we used to watch the what are called calendars, Christmas calendar TV series and shows that were
every day.
Every day from the 1st to 24th December, there would be like a half an hour or an hour of Christmas episodes.
Starts tomorrow.
Exactly.
The Swedish one last year, I think it was really good with the
there was one with the trolls in the woods.
Exactly. We grew up with somebody with the original one. Like there was one in the late 70s, and then was in the 80s as well with Eva Rydberg, and then they made a remake now that got huge rave.
Oh, it's great. It's really good. It's really wow.
But to answer your question, I think for me a Christmas movie is more if it takes place at least during Christmas time, at it's set during Christmas maybe, but then. I hear it when I say it now that suddenly it becomes like a very broad library of movies that you could say like are Christmas movies. But do they necessarily have to deal with Christmas, for example? Is that the main theme in the movie, or is it just a backdrop?
I think it's used like it's wrong to say it's used as a cheap way to sort of give you a free plot in why people are meeting each other, or if it's of rom-com, whatever, family gatherings you can make any movie out of a family gathering, but having Christmas as why are they gathering is an easy way to set the foundation for the rest of the arch.
Yeah, true.
But that is also like if we would make Christmas movies into its own genre, they're also kind of unique in their own ways. Well, they're unusual maybe in the sense of that there's a lot of the Christmas movies out there are actually ensemble cast. Like there's not as much as that one character we follow, but a group of people, and it's also very much like they can be pretty bad, but they're good in that sense because it just brings people together. It really does what they're intended to do, and it brings like the family members and everyone's like watching the same Christmas movies and just. But talking about just quickly about you said for you it needs to be within the Christmas
period, maybe set during Christmas.
Set during Christmas. But I have one movie that is not set during Christmas, but I feel like it's a Christmas movie for me, and it's Groundhog Day. Which is kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Because when I saw it the first time, I thought Groundhog Day was a made-up fake. It wasn't a real day, but apparently it is. But it's in February.
True.
But but I saw it because of the snow and the winter, and so I was like, okay, they made this fake Groundhog Day. It's probably Christmas, just some.
I mean, Bill Murray Christmas.
There is a Bill Murray Christmas movie. Right?
Yeah, you mentioned just before we started recording, we talked about Charles Dickens. So like, he made a Scrooge.
Right.
So they made a more modern version of it with Bill Murray. That's a hilarious movie. But if I ask you like this, if you have like one or two favorite Christmas movies you would say like you enjoy watching for Christmas, if we can start with you, Christian, what would you say that would be
like a must watch? Like
I'm a real sucker for rom-coms, so we always tend to watch.
He's your biggest fan from the last episode.
The Holiday is something we always watch.
Kate Winslet.
Jack Black.
I gotta see that one.
It's just a good movie.
Yeah,
like good pace, comedy, has everything. And for me also, just because it takes place during Christmas. It's not a very cozy movie, but In Bruges. I think it's Colin Farrell's masterpiece.
Yeah,
It is a masterpiece. We both, you and I, have a special memory of that movie, seeing it together. You actually went.
Yeah. Me and my wife, we went there and we rented to Bruges. Yes, it's a real place.
Oh yeah, no, I know. But you after the movie?
Yeah. Like that's the reason we went there. It looks like a cozy place.
This might not be politically correct.
Yeah.
Were they filming midgets?
Not at the time. I was very disappointed. But we went there for New Year's. And we rented a room in a B&B.
Yeah.
And when we got into the room, we opened the drawer at the nightstand table, and there was a map of these are the shooting locations for the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So we did the city going to all those locations.
Oh wow.
And we went up the tower and everything. So
and you paid the entry as well for. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you very much.
But yeah, I love that movie, and I recommend it to everyone who hasn't seen it.
It's a masterpiece.
Oh, it's a great movie. I think wasn't it nominated or did it win? It was nominated at least for an Oscar.
I might be wrong.
Writing
I have to check. I think it won an Oscar for best screenwriting.
Yes.
I might be wrong. I have to double check.
Sure
so I have
that
to
as
disclaimer.
But also pretty sure. At least it was nominated. I remember that much.
But great suggestions. How about you, Dan?
You just have one movie, or just
The Holiday in Bruges.
that are you never miss. There doesn't go a Christmas that you do not miss watching.
No, Love Actually. Oh, another rom-com.
Yeah.
You're so sweet.
Does Connie watch them with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, how romantic.
Yeah. No, those are must-sees for sure.
Okay.
Nice ones. Cool. How about
I
you?
actually brought some copies here of the movies.
Yeah, I see that. You would
Yeah.
like to talk about some of them.
Yeah. So I would say my ultimate Christmas. Yeah, these are some of them.
Yeah.
One is a Swedish one called "Tomten är far till alla barnen,"
Yeah.
which in English would be translated to "Santa is daddy to all the kids." Papa.
Papa Santa.
So this is a great one. I love this. It's a very I don't know. I'll call it. It came out in the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
And
It was a huge hit.
It was a huge hit.
Yeah.
It was very much right in its time, and it's about this mom who has a bunch of kids with different dads.
Yeah.
Invites everyone to Christmas Eve, and has a new husband or a man in her life that she does not have a biological kid with, and they have to kind of cope with, or he has to cope apparently.
Yeah.
Well, her as well.
But but when they start the dinner, she lets all people know that she's pregnant.
No.
Yes.
That's not.
Yes.
That's in the end of it.
No, that's the whole thing with the movie. That begins with she's saying she's pregnant, and he's done the snippet,
Oh,
so he can't
okay.
be. He can't be.
Spoiler. Yeah. Okay. Come on. I'm introducing this movie to
The
Jesus
movie
Christ.
is.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
It's in the first 10 minutes,
okay,
man.
But
okay.
this one is a good example of where they use Christmas as the foundation to create a crazy story.
Yeah.
Because where else would you find the reasons? And let's gather all my exes.
But I love it because they take a lot of these Swedish stereotypes.
Yeah.
In it, you have the rich stepdad who's like gives the kids everything, and they're like totally HD like.
Because that's the whole thing. The movie starts that way. That's how it builds up his tension, trying to find out.
You're right.
Yeah.
I see my memory of films lately, but I'm rewatching it soon.
So sorry for the people I might have spoiled the movie. It's made in the late 90s. I think it was time for you to see it or watch it at least.
But they should have made an American remake of this. That would have been great to see an American version. Or
do you think it would be as good?
I think they could have done it good as well.
Do it like an all-star cast as well, where they really just get the wig out.
Who would you say would be the father, if you're on the top of your mind?
Tom Hanks. That would be great, wouldn't it?
I can actually see him yelling and
Okay, so Tom Hanks and who would be
Julia Roberts. No.
Not as a clear cut as Tom Hanks.
No.
I'll have a think about it.
Yeah.
If you
Sandra Bullock? No,
Swedish,
it's too. We need something else.
The Swedish people that are watching the episode, please feel free on dropping in the comments if your dream cast for like Tomtens far till alla barn.
Yeah. But and then they should make a Swedish Christmas version of this one. And then it's that. No, but this is
that's a good one.
This is my I do not miss a Christmas without
No.
it. So this one and this one have, and two more I would say. But Christmas Vacation, National Lampoons.
Yeah.
In Swedish, the name of the movie is Päron till farsan
firar jul.
and in Danish is Fars fede jul.
Fast feed you.
That's my Danish.
Oh.
But this is, everyone knows this, so it's. But what's cool, HDVD. Right? Remember that? Remember that format?
Oh,
that
yes,
died?
I was there at the time. That was my favorite.
Still
Yeah.
got it. Yeah. And then Charlie Brown Christmas,
Yeah.
which is just, love Charlie Brown. And this is as Christmassy as it gets. This is becoming more of my Christmas tradition than the Disney thing. Because this is just super cozy. Love it. Music. And Gremlins.
That's actually one of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is I have slight, this is both the first proper horror film I think I experienced as a child.
We talked about that actually in the the Halloween special that we talked about gateway horror.
Yeah.
Because it's marketed as like a Christmas movie and it's a PG-13, so it's not rated so children could watch it, but it has some elements in it that are quite terrifying. I remember seeing it the first
But I mean,
time.
it says on the cover, what you see isn't always what you get.
Story of my life.
Yeah, you see this cute character.
I mean, Gizmo, biggest crush ever on that.
He was so cute. I wanted a doll of him as a child as well.
I actually have one. So.
Yeah, so he was so cute, and then seeing them up. But now, growing up, being a bit older, I actually find the Gremlins even more cute.
Yeah, they have a charm.
They have a charm, at least. So yeah, but
especially when they're little, like when they're growing up.
Yeah. I agree. So, but that's also an interesting thing because it's not the typical Christmas movie as well. But it's set during Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's
definitely,
and everything happens during Christmas Eve as well.
Yeah. It's very, but I remember putting my head in the couch and not looking and just listening to sounds because I got terrified when I saw them turn into these gremlins. So that was but now it's just a nice Christmas movie. And then those are the main, but then I don't know why this one came up, but it's not really a Christmas movie, but it kind of feels like one.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
It's Ted Demme, or the same director who made Blow.
Yeah.
He's not alive anymore. Sadly enough, he passed away quite young and early in his life. But it's quite a big cast. You got Matt Dillon, Timothy Hutton, Rosie O'Donnell, Michael Rappaport, Mira Sorvino, and Uma Thurman. And it's kind of like a reunion movie, but it's during winter and it's snowy and it feels very Christmassy. And now I'm losing my voice. Damn it,
have a little more to drink.
Yes, more to drink. Yes. So,
Let's hear
Grinch. Oh wow! But you mentioned one of mine at least. But also I would say Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. Tim Burton.
But also, I think it's only a certain part of the movie that actually takes place during Christmas time, when I think about it. But I think the scenes, especially when it's when you have the enormous ice sculptures, for example, when he sculptures and you see where he creates snow and how snow, like you said, is the common denominator in the entire movie from start to finish. And how he is always connected to why there is always snow.
And it's also, I think, for us maybe who has grown up here in this part of Sweden, when we were kids, we actually had snow, proper real snow that would stay for a month maybe, or a couple of weeks. And we associate that with Christmas, and now that we don't have it, movies that contain snow for me makes it even more like, I miss it because it would light up the whole town and the whole city.
Makes it mutes all the sounds a bit.
Yeah, it does.
And especially lights up as well during the evenings when it's already so dark. Then it becomes a bit more light.
Just less depressing.
Yeah.
And movies that contain that, like Edward Scissorhands, doesn't matter if it's like one day of Christmas. It's just, love it.
I agree with you. Yeah. So, but Edward Scissorhands, as we said, Sällskapsresan, also a Swedish movie.
By the way, is The Long Kiss Goodnight, is it called that with
It's also it contains snow.
But it's not during Christmas.
Yes, it is.
It is, right?
Yeah,
I thought about it. I was like, isn't that like okay? So now we're getting into a different category.
This is interesting. You know, it feels like you already when you say Rennie Harlin, I'm thinking of Die Hard 2, but the original Die Hard. It has been going on for several times now, having the discussion: is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not?
No, it's not.
But why?
I just don't feel it. I don't get a Christmassy feeling. I just don't. And I'm gonna have this discussion to the end of days, I guess. I even rewatched it yesterday or the day before just because I just needed to see this. Do I feel any Christmas with this? I don't. It's in California. There's no snow. It's sunny. John McClane, or what's his name? Yeah, like I don't know, wife beater and
wife beater.
Like,
Yeah.
well,
That's what I read. Whenever I hear Die Hard 2, I think of his wife beater.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, come on.
I mean, haven't they like kind of broken up in the first one, and they're kind of trying to patch it up? Maybe there's that implying that he was like his wife. You never know. Like, and now it's Christmas. Like, oh, let's get back together. Could be. No, I'm kidding. No, I don't.
They had trouble making it work.
Yeah.
Especially with work-related stuff. No, but it's an interesting discussion talking about like how we started the episode now about what qualifies as a Christmas movie. And yeah, I mean, what I said was, for example, what I can define as a Christmas movie. Yeah, it takes place during Christmas, but like you said, it's in California. There's no snow, and there.
I think
like
it's a great. Sorry.
I
think it's a great example of like something that takes place during Christmas, but does not feel like Christmas at all.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, they have it.
It's the exception that confirms the rule.
But does it actually? but does it actually in the movie? Does the day like Christmas Eve actually happen?
The party is on Christmas Eve.
Who has a company party on Christmas Eve?
America.
Really? Oh, is it because
They
celebrate
celebrate on Christmas Day.
But you don't do the Christmas party the day before.
Yeah, I would say.
Really?
We can ask our producer, John. You being from the United States, would you say that's typical to have parties on Christmas Eve?
Not work parties.
Not work parties.
Right? So even that is not accurate in the Die Hard. Right. So that's another Christmas inaccuracy on the movie.
You celebrate Christmas Day in the US.
Yeah, that's true, but you don't do the Christmas
And the party, if it was work-related, would be like a week before.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
See,
okay.
right?
I take it
Like
back.
we do
So,
here.
thank you, John.
Yeah, you have like company Christmas parties
not-
is a week or two before Christmas.
Exactly. Yeah.
But not the day before.
Not exactly. Yeah.
No, true.
Yeah.
All right, but
But
I'll take it back. Yes?
but okay, but please, Marcus, you seem to think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Well, if you go by one of my rules, it's very personal. It takes place during Christmas, and it has a Christmassy feeling, at least in the beginning. And then you end the movie with "Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow."
Yeah, they got some Christmas songs.
But if we but I put it this way, I think we can like name how many movies. But I remember another movie also by the same producers we talked about as well at one point. But then would you say that like Lethal Weapon 2 is a Christmas movie?
Yeah, I need to rewatch that. I forgot about what the setting was there.
I don't ask me because I always confuse Lethal Weapon with the Naked Gun parodies.
Oh, what?
Liam
Really?
Neeson. Yeah, because they draw so much from like Die Hard and Lethal Weapon and so on. They play on all those movies.
They actually made a one also Loaded Weapon.
Yeah.
It's a pure parody of the Lethal Weapon movies. You have Emilio Estevez as Mel Gibson's character, and Samuel L. Jackson plays Danny Glover's character.
Yes, they're all coming back to me.
Okay,
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. So, but because then suddenly it becomes a discussion. Remember, we also talked about Rambo: First Blood.
Yeah.
It also takes place during Christmas.
right.
But then the setting, and it's not, you only see like decorations of Christmas trees in the background and stuff like that. So, but that movie doesn't feel like it's a Christmas movie. It has Christmas elements in it, but more in
he
the
does
background.
come packing gifts.
But then I actually had this discussion. I had this discussion at work as well.
He's in for a surprise.
Someone said it's not a Christmas movie, Die Hard, but it's a Christmas tradition to watch it. And then I just felt
that's
like
a good point.
Yeah, it is. But then I feel like, but that's kind of cheating because that's not the topic here. It's the topic is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not? And I go like, for me, no, because I don't feel I don't get the Christmas vibes. you mentioned First Blood. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. But that's not something I would call a Christmas movie, but maybe a Christmas tradition. So then again, Die Hard maybe is more of a Christmas tradition than it is an actual movie.
So basically, it can be both.
Oh, no.
No.
but if we argue, no, I can agree. So like, because if we go back to the question of what's a must see for you for Christmas, if Die Hard 2 is a must see during Christmas for you.
No. But I mean, okay, and I feel bad mentioning like it's not the reason because it's the first Die Hard is based in California. It's not a Christmas movie because you go to Australia and it's like California. You don't get any snow there, and you see Santa Claus in the middle of summer. It feels really weird.
But that's also a thing I find so fascinating as well. We talked about what we grew up with in Sweden, for example, the stuff that we talked about Donald Duck, Christmas celebration. We have like Karl-Bertil Jonsson's Jul is also on Christmas Eve, and one of the movies, the shorter movies that absolutely is, to my regards, no Christmas movie is Kan du vissla, Johanna?
Kan du vissla, Johanna?
It plays every Christmas Eve on Swedish television. I find it's also become
For how long?
at least 20 years, 25 years. I think
Okay,
I think it was made in the beginning of the 90s or something like that.
Okay.
But what I find so interesting is that recently I celebrated Christmas in Germany with my relatives there, and then finding out what movies they have as a Christmas tradition that they grew up with, or like what is tradition to watch on Christmas. I think there was like a Czech, Polish, German version of Cinderella. But it's called like Aschenputtel drei Wünsche, so the Cinderella with the three wishes. But that was like one of the main traditional Christmas movies that they watch in Germany. And that's, to me, is so interesting how maybe every country has a Christmas movie that signifies what's Christmas to them, especially what they had, the connection they had to it as well when they grew up, if they grew up with it, or it was like traditional, this was the movie to watch on Christmas. So to me, that's very fascinating, especially, so it feels like we in Sweden, we have a couple of movies that are like, because they have been on Swedish television and it's become a tradition.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, how it's grown afterwards, and how many other movies have become Christmassy, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they take place during Christmas.
No, but I'm thinking then about Astrid Lindgren. Weren't a lot of her movies that we grew up with watching them during Christmas as well? Ronja Rövardotter.
Yeah.
That for me is a Christmas movie because they was like always on maybe the days after Christmas.
Yeah,
or
right.
something.
And
You could always catch it.
Emil Lönneberg, wasn't there maybe even a Pippi Longstrump Christmas episode?
They did. It's very popular in Denmark that they do like a montage when they take pieces of some of the Astrid Lindgren stories. They have with Pippi Longstocking, they have Emil Lönneberg, Madicken, and that they have had episodes that took place during Christmas. So they make it like a montage, I think it's called Astrid Lindgren's Christmas.
You're right. I think you're right. But wasn't also Denmark the country where Die Hard was released during Christmas in the cinema?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I guess in Denmark, Die Hard is a Christmas movie, the only country in the world.
In Sweden, it was during the summer.
Yeah. So
yeah,
you're welcome, Denmark. You win.
You win.
But yeah. But then also like the Disney movies, the old classic animations. I remember like the cinemas usually have also the Cinematheque in both in Sweden and Denmark have like showings of the old Disney classics animated in the cinema, like several during a week.
Now that you mentioned it, didn't they also like time? Like at least here in Sweden, like the release of Lion King and like Aladdin, those movies around that time of the year because they knew it would.
That was actually interesting that you point out that, because that was a huge shift. I was thinking about, for example, the Star Wars movies. They always came out during the beginning of the summer, like it was the start of the summer in May, exactly, May month, and that was with the original with the original trilogy, but also the prequel trilogy. Yeah. But when Disney took, and if at first it was due to like difficulties with the production that it was delayed, but then since that they released them during Christmas or just before Christmas. So then suddenly, do they become like Christmas movies?
Yeah. I mean, but it's Star Wars, you know.
A bit of a stretch.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, number 5, there's snow.
Yeah. Empire Strikes
Lots
Back.
of snow.
Yeah.
Almost dies in snow.
Yeah. Then you have the mud and the Yodas. Okay, but is it snowing Cloud City? It's cloudy. It's Cloud City. It's quite kind of Christmassy, right?
A planet in the 8th episode, but mostly it looks like snow, but it's salt. Okay, a bit nerdy now, but I think it's very interesting. But it feels like I've always imagined when you go like see the big blockbusters that they always come during the summer. That's the biggest. But then now it feels like, especially with Disney, many of their animated movies, but like then you had also like Star Wars and some of the Marvel movies, also got released during Christmas time, or just at least during winter time.
Yeah. But I've noticed one thing though. It's been a while since I saw any of the really old classics, and I'm talking about movies before the 80s and 70s, like the Christmas movies that came from that time. But I don't have enough like remembrance to talk about. But I don't know if any of you guys do. Like,
I mean, it feels like there's when especially when we studied film. They talked about like the masterpieces, and like Life is Wonderful, and you had
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it talked about these Christmas classics, and if you don't have like a personal
St. Louis,
Meet Me in St. Louis, if you don't have that personal connection to movies, then I mean, of course they can be Christmas movies, of course, but then if you don't have like the personal connection to them, maybe they don't feel like a Christmas.
But like
exactly that is what I think ties back to this thing about maybe it's not so much about if the movie is a Christmas movie, it's if it's something you always watched with your parents at Christmas because they love that movie for whatever reason. For you, it becomes
The Godfather. The Godfather. No. Yeah.
But like you mentioned, James Bond. Your dad would plow
I know if you were joking or if you were.
No. I was like, I'm not. Isn't there a war movie as well? Like during that time, isn't there like Apocalypse? No.
Kelly's Heroes. It's not a Christmas, not a Christmas movie at all. But I remember watching it a lot during Christmas because that's when I hung out with my best friend
Which
over.
one did you say?
In Swedish is Kelly's Hjältar.
Yeah.
It's like kind of World War II
movie. But then when you talk about
Mighty Ducks.
That's a real good one. Yeah. But do they take place during Christmas?
It's a lot of snow.
It's snowy and ice skate. It's Christmas.
There's cold drafts. He's out skating alone on the ice. And there's Hans, the German ice hockey gear. Or maybe he's Austrian.
Same.
But different. But you guys see, I find this discussion so interesting at the same time. But I think you're in a very interesting area of also mentioning watching movies, especially regarding together with family. And I think that also plays a very important point of what you grow up with thinking of like as a traditional Christmas movie, or what makes you feel, oh, this is like Christmas. Because at the same time, maybe some of those movies don't necessarily have to be Christmas movies. But that was a movie that you watched during Christmas, like we talked about before. I talked to this about with one of my colleagues at work, for example, and he's just said, well, first Lord of the Rings is a Christmas movie for him, for example.
But they also released at Christmas, right?
They were. They were also it very much felt like that. I remember that it was always during December month, just before Christmas Eve and New Year's.
I had friends that were like camping for tickets.
I mean, Harry Potter. If I'd watched Harry Potter, I've only seen the first one, but I feel like they could also be Christmas movies for a lot of people.
You said you only seen the first one.
Yeah, and it was quite recently. But I know. I'm one of those. But I'm. I know.
I need
Clearly a Slytherin.
Clear. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
It's fine. I'm gonna catch up.
I have a confession. I can tell the listeners that as well. I didn't see the first Godfather movie until I was in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's still movies that you think like.
I don't think I've seen The Shining yet. Have I told you that?
Yes, you have.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, Christmas movie.
Well, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, maybe. I don't know. Milos Forman feels like Amadeus. I don't know. All these like
Amadeus.
I'm just throwing things out there, but it's like
What was there in your cup here?
long movies that kind of stretch through time and space, and it's like suddenly there's Christmas in there. That's Christmas. That's a Christmas.
That's a Christmas movie.
If you say so.
But it makes an interesting point as well, because I remember like the first Lord of the Rings, it was also during Christmas when it was showing as well. So I think that's also people associated with it during that time that it came out in Christmas, that they saw it, and then maybe that has made it a tradition as well when they do it. So I find it so extremely fascinating. So,
but should we kind of say Die Hard Christmas movie or not? Yes or no?
No.
yes.
No. Democracy wins.
I can see your point. But
So it's 2 against 1. Okay.
No.
I feel.
No, for you it is. It's fine. It's okay.
We agree to disagree.
We agree to disagree.
But thinking of wrapping it up a little bit now, but what would you say, like, for somebody that wants to see like the ultimate Christmas movie? You guys already had suggestions now, and you said examples now of great movies and great titles. But what would you say, like, it's the ultimate? Do you think we can agree on one movie that's the ultimate?
That's actually.
I
good
think
question.
the contender for me that. Like Home Alone, I would say.
Oh yes.
I think
how could we forget Home Alone? But isn't both Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2?
Yeah, they're both during Christmas, but at his house and then New York.
Yeah.
Right?
I actually didn't. We got to mention I was supposed to say Home Alone as well. For me, that's for me it's the ultimate Christmas movie.
It's also one of those I don't like miss during Christmas.
Yeah.
At least one of them.
It's like the one we've introduced to our kids now as well.
I would say Home Alone.
But it still holds up
so
well. At least the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
I mean, the second one, might have some discussion, especially with the Marvin, the other guy, especially how he handles them in the building. I mean, they would be dead the first 20 seconds.
But the first one, for sure, I think, like, really holds up. Because it plays on all of this, the Christmas stress, family getting together.
And forgetting their kid is just too good.
The subtle hints of his ticket falling into the trash when they spilled the milk.
But I think that's the one. I think Home Alone one. We can agree on that being the ultimate one. But I have to mention one before I forget it. It's not in the same category of must, but it's kind of creeping in there as a must watch during Christmas for me. And it's Jingles All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't, and Jake Lloyd.
I have not seen.
Okay, watch it. It's just becoming more and more of my favorite.
I agree with you on that point. I saw it recently, but it's also because I'm an Arnold fan. But,
I know.
But it's hilarious.
It is. It's super fun.
It's Turbo Man.
Yeah, Turbo Man. And but it's all that Christmas stress, and I can't do that.
That's where the movie is when he says, "Put the cookie down."
Is that now? Is that the one? Put the cookie down.
But it's true.
That was daycare.
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Doesn't that?
Who is your father and what does he do?
I have a headache. Might be a tumor. No, it's not a tumor. It's not.
I tried to actually show Kindergarten Cop to Charlie quite recently, and he was like, "What is this? This is so weird. Who's this big guy like with all these kids?" And it's just like,
yeah. But it's interesting choice of movie because it feels like that one has grown so much more attention now the older it gets. I don't know. I mean, it was popular when it came out, but then it feels like it's still got more and more attention now.
I think it's more popular now than when it came out. I mean,
and yes, and when we talked about Home Alone as well, being like this is like a classic that doesn't age. Like you said that you showed it to your children, for example, and I know other people have showed it to, and they love it. I think it's a really, really good movie. Yeah. In some ways, it's timeless Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But I think it's the movie everyone would agree. Yes, it's a Christmas movie, no questions asked.
Right?
I think so at least.
Yeah, it's better than Die Hard. And has anyone seen that? But that was quite a big disappointment. I was kind of excited. The one that came kind of recently, where Mel Gibson plays Santa, called Fat Man. Have you guys seen it?
I'm not gonna watch it now after that great sell.
No. Don't worry again and again. It's like, hey, by the way, let's just say that Home Alone is the...
Finally something we can agree
on. Yeah, Home Alone.
Guys, thank you so much for being guests on the show and this Christmas special. Any final thoughts before we?
No, just let's looking forward to all the. I'm gonna watch The Holiday probably for the first time now. Yeah, and
if you do that, I'll watch Fat Man.
I know. Yeah.
Maybe we should do it all three together during middle days between Christmas and New Year's Eve or something. But to the listeners as well, I mean, do you guys have any suggestions? What's a typical Christmas movie? Write it down in the comments in the YouTube section and let us know which are your favorite Christmas movies as well.
Probably, there's might be some hidden gems.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. And to all the fans out there, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye.
Oh, should we clap? I don't know. Fist bump.